It's going to hurt, but this is why WWE needs Charlotte Flair to win. There are many different ways of playing the villain in the WWE landscape, and one of the most popular has always been the fancy living, born with a silver spoon stereotype. A famous surname means you get a fast ride to the top, but that becomes an oppressive weight if you're not up to the challenge of living up to that name. And that's without considering the heightened expectations that come with being a legacy star. There was an ominous certainty about Charlotte Flair coming back to win the Royal Rumble from the second she entered her name into the match. It instantly annoyed the wrestling community, largely because they can see what's on the way, and that's a lot of Charlotte having her hand raised. Ric Flair hung his hat on the phrase, "You don't have to like it, but you're going to learn to love it," and his daughter is a living embodiment of that at the minute. In fact, I'm convinced she's going to ram that further down people's throats than ever before, and yes, this may be a bumpy ride, and it may not be wildly popular, but there are more upsides to her booking than immediately meets the eye. And Charlotte Flair is a once-in-a-generation performer who can overcome these challenges and more. Whether you like it or not, Charlotte Flair's 2025 return sets up her year. After the Royal Rumble debut of Jordynne Grace and a slew of NXT's great women took their shot by joining the likes of Liv Morgan, Io Sky, and Nia Jax, it is widely accepted that this year's Women's Rumble match was an exciting look at WWE's bright future. During a promo on this week's episode of SmackDown, however, Charlotte Flair described her 2025 Royal Rumble opponents as 29 unserious women and pointed out that there was no way she was going over the top rope. As the bell rang and Charlotte stood tall in Indianapolis, everyone watching along also knew that to be true too, the key in all of this is to listen when Charlotte Flair speaks. She is not telling the viewer that she is the greatest woman to ever wrestle. She has her sights set even higher. Right now, it feels like Charlotte Flair is aiming for the legacies of Hulk Hogan and Roman Reigns. Watch her SmackDown entrance as a WWE crew member is caught clear as day on camera opening the ropes for her. That is deliberate. Charlotte is going to be booked and treated as a superior, and that is going to mean Flair is likely to monster every woman she comes into contact with this year. That Charlotte's booking is bigger than wrestling. One of the few valid criticisms of the new WWE is that they are yet to address their storytelling in the women's division. The performers and their characters are all on point, but there is a deep knot that the likes of Paul Levesque are still undoing. This is a WWE landscape where the wrestling talents of women were overlooked by Vince McMahon for decades, and where too many female superstars have been considered somehow perversely taboo through one man's depressingly bleak and out-of-touch outlook. Things can and will change, and now it's about WWE delivering on that, and how they can do it. If the WWE wants to be seen as a better place for women to come and work, where they can create a body of work comparable in legacy to any man on the roster, the women's division needs its golden goose. Roman Reigns held the WWE title forever, and it was infuriating at times, but the WWE Championship is white hot and can stay that way forever because of that championship reign. The women's division needs its Thanos, and every woman chasing her will benefit from, will they be the superstar to stop the big bad? Stories and moments. Charlotte Flair is the only choice for that role. Why Charlotte Flair is vital to WWE's future, no matter how much she's booed the UFC, is a fascinating landscape to behold. It can be difficult to explain too. Charlotte Flair hinted that her WWE return was imminent. Just a few days ago, Charlotte Flair took to her X, formerly Twitter, account and hinted that her WWE return was imminent. She posted a photo of herself with several computer screens in front of her. Accompanying the image was an intriguing caption. "It's all about the game and how you play it." Along with an evil smiley emoji, this caption is believed to be a hint at her WWE return, as the words are lyrics from the Triple H's theme song, The Game, by Motorhead. The King of Kings, Triple H, is currently the chief content officer of the Stanford-based promotion. With this caption, it seems Flair is signaling her intention to return under Triple H's regime. Additionally, many fans are speculating that Charlotte will make her return as a villainous star, especially considering the use of the particular emoji in her post. As we approach Royal Rumble 2025, many such surprises and unexpected developments are expected to unfold soon. Among these, one of the surprises could be the return of the Queen in the Stanford-based promotion. Charlotte Flair broke a long-standing WWE tradition to show she's a perfect natural heel. Charlotte Flair triumphantly returned to wrestling at the WWE Royal Rumble Premium Live event, competing in her first match in over a year after a serious knee injury. She was pre-announced for the match, so it wasn't a surprise moment, but in typical Flair fashion, she made sure everyone left the show talking about her. That's because the Queen returned with a bang, winning the Women's Royal Rumble and booking her place at WWE WrestleMania 41. However, after a brief moment in the sun as a babyface, fans brought her crashing back down to earth with a bang by booing her out of the building the following night, proving her quality as a heel by going against a classic wrestling tradition. Typically, in wrestling, whenever someone returns from a serious injury, they're welcomed back with a babyface run because fans are just happy to see them. Considering the length of time that Charlotte was sidelined for, coupled with her general star power, most people presumed that would be the case here. Charlotte Flair didn't get the welcome back babyface run. Flair got a good reception in the Royal Rumble match itself, and that seemed to set things up positively for a babyface run. However, the next night on WWE Raw, fans hated her again, and it was as if no time had passed from her previous run in WWE, despite the fact she was cutting a genuinely babyface promo about the adversities she's dealt with and the problems she's had to overcome. Fans just seem to have zero sympathy for Flair. It's a unique situation for someone to be in, but it does prove that she's a genuinely fantastic heel. And that's not easy to find when someone is also a terrific in-ring talent like she is. That WWE consistently makes booking mistakes with Charlotte Flair. Big reason fans immediately turned on Charlotte Flair after her return is that there appears to be nothing new with her character or in how WWE is booking her. From the moment she arrived on the main roster, WWE has forced her into main event positions, racking up title wins to seemingly catch her father's record as quickly as possible. None of that aligns with a babyface, so people prefer to cheer the likes of Bayley or Becky Lynch. Fans like to see someone scrap and earn their opportunities, and returning from a serious injury like Flair did provide WWE the chance to tell that story with Flair, having her narrowly miss out and be forced to scrap for everything. However, WWE just had her waltz back and immediately won the Royal Rumble. That's the same type of booking the company has always done. Unfortunately, at this stage, audiences are genuinely tied to it. Flair might be an incredible professional wrestler, but she has become stagnant, and that's a problem for her character. The fact that fans wasted no time telling WWE exactly that isn't a positive sign either. There are certain wrestlers who fans cannot imagine as a heel, such as Rey Mysterio, but Charlotte Flair falls into the opposite category. While she's been a babyface in the past, it is a role that's never quite suited her and has never felt truly organic or natural when it has been attempted. Charlotte Flair is unlikely to ever work as a babyface. A big reason for that is her overall presentation. While some fans can get cheered for claiming they're the best in the world, such as CM Punk, Flair cannot. Seeing her walk out in huge robes or wearing designer gear for promos all push a classic heel character, and her often arrogant persona only supports that Flair is a genuinely brilliant heel who always gets a massive reaction from the fans, which is crucial for anyone in this role. WWE doesn't have many of these at the top level, and that's why the company might just consider never changing her at this point. The path forward for Charlotte can already be seen, as she is now fully leaning into her heel gimmick, as was shown on last week's SmackDown during her promo with Tiffany Stratton. There's no turning back now. Charlotte Flair shows off new physique. Sends message to fans. Charlotte Flair showed off her impressive new physique on social media following this week's edition of WWE